O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah and speak a word that is true. So these three ayat, which are typically read in the khutbah of the nikah, in the speech of the nikah, in which the nikah is conducted, those three ayat, all three of them revolve around at-taqwa. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامِ. Have taqwa of Allah, that you ask through Him. You ask and you say, by Allah, I ask you for this. And have taqwa of Allah as it relates to your relatives. So taqwa is a theme of these ayat that relate to nikah. So the very first characteristics we're going to start with is the characteristic of at-taqwa. And that characteristic of at-taqwa, what does it really mean? At-taqwa, as some of the scholars defined it, they said it is to act in obedience to Allah upon a light of guidance from Allah, hoping for Allah's reward, and to leave disobedience to Allah upon a light of guidance from Allah, fearing Allah's punishment. So what we see here is that taqwa is based around obeying Allah and leaving disobedience to Allah. As for in the language, the word taqwa is to put a barrier. It refers to putting a barrier. So for example, if you were to smash a glass on the floor, and the glass was to smash into all of those pieces, and then a person was to, what would you do if you smashed a glass on the floor? You put your shoes on. And that concept of putting your shoes on to stop the glass from scraping your feet or from piercing your feet, that linguistically is what we call taqwa. Putting a barrier between you and something you're scared of. In Islam, it's to put a barrier between the punishment of Allah, the anger of Allah, the curse of Allah, and the fire. To put a barrier between you. How do you put that barrier? By doing what Allah commanded you and by keeping away from what Allah commanded you to keep away from. And one of the things we can take from this hadith is that the religion has to come first. Has to come first. إِذَا خَطَبَ إِلَيْكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ. The deen comes first. The religion has to come first. And that's something which a lot of people maybe don't realize the importance of. They say, yeah, of course, we want to look at religion, the person should pray and so on, but maybe they don't look at that first. It doesn't come first for them. Maybe first for them comes their financial situation, first for them comes their family background, what kind of family they come from. Maybe first comes for them education, but none of those are supposed to come first in Islam. What's supposed to come first in Islam and before everything else is the deen. So we look at the religion before and in front of everything else.